Hello friends, welcome to Learner's Planet. Friends, this is our fifth workshop for Quant. In the previous workshops, we have done a good number of questions. We have discussed many concepts, problems. In this session, we'll be taking some more problems. So let's begin. Just have your paper and pen with you and start solving problems right with me. Okay? Now let's see this problem. A can do a job in 8 hours, B can do the same job in 5 hours. They started working together on that job, but after 2 hours, B left the job and C joined A. Now B and C working together can finish the same job in 4 hours. A's per hour income 40, B and C thus their savings are in the same ratio as their earning from the job. C can save rupees 10, then how much A and B can save together? So precisely the problem is based on time and work. The remaining story is very easy. To calculate their earning, it's quite easy. Whatever is a concern, that's still here. Right? Now A can do a job in 8 hours and B can do the same job in 5 hours. They started working together on that job, but after 2 hours, B left the job. So in 2 hours, A might have done 1/4 of the work and B might have done 2/5 of the work, right? So 1/4 of the work is what? 25%. So A, B and C. Or I can say A can do the entire work in 8 hours, B can 5 hours. We can do the same work in 5 hours. And if B and C working together, they can do the work in 4 hours. Now, from this statement, we can calculate the total number of working hour required by C while working all alone, right? Now, if B and C, they are working together, they are taking 4 hours, right? So, if B does for 4 hours, B works for 4 hours, then he'll be doing 4 by 5 of the total work. That means 80% of the total work, right? That means if both of them are working for 4 hours, if the work is getting completed and B is doing 80% of the work, that means the remaining work 20% is being done by C. That means what is happening over here? C can do 20% of the work in 4 hours. That means 100% of the work he'll be able to do in 4 into 5, 20 hours. So these are their respective capacities, right? A can do the entire work in 8 hours, B can do in 5 hours and C can do the entire work in 20 hours. Now what? A is working for 2 hours and B is also working for 2 hours, right? So in 2 hours, A can do 2 by 8 or we can say 1 by 4th of the work is finished. If B is working for 2 hours, 2 by 5 work is finished, or we can say 40% of the work is finished, right? Now, after that, B is leaving. Now, A and C, both of them are working. Now, this much amount is already finished. So, that is 5 plus 8. 13 by 20 is already finished. Now, we are left with 7 by 20, right? Now, A can do 1 upon 8 work per hour and this is 1 upon 20, right? So, 7 by 40 work per hour they can do, right? And they have to do 7 by 20 of the work. That means they will be taking 2 hours more to finish up the work, right? That means precisely A is working for 4 hours, B is working for 2 hours and C is working for 2 hours. Getting my point? Because A was working since starting, right? Now, when A is working 4 hours, B is working 2 hours and C is working for 2 hours, the job is completed. Now A's per hour income is rupees 40, B and C are earning this. Their savings are in the same ratio as their earning from this job. So that's 4 into 40, this A's earning is 160, B is earning is 120 and C's earning is 40, right? Now their savings are in the same ratio as their earning from the job. So their earning is ratio is what? 4 is to 2 is to 2. Okay, I'm sorry. Earning is 160, 20 and 40. So that's 1 is to 3 is to 4. So that's their saving ratio. Okay. Now C can save rupees 10, then how much A and B can save together? That means this 1 is actually 10 and we are asked about this 7. So if 1 is 10, 7 is 70, as simple as that. So precisely this question is based on time and work. The remaining story is like a child's job, you can say, right? That's very easy to find out. I hope you are getting it. Now here, Amul Food Processing Company received fresh consignment of cherries from Himachal Cherry Corporation containing 8 kilograms of cherries. After analysis, these cherries were found to contain 99% water. After 15 days, sample of cherries from the same lot found to contain 98% water. What must be the weight of the same lot at that time? Pretty simple problem, friends, and so many times this sort of problems have been asked in CAT exams. So just listen to me carefully and you try it on your own also. Pretty simple problem it is. So initially the total quantity is 8 kilogram. Okay, and the water is actually 0.99 of A and pulp is 0.01 of A, right? After 15 days the quantity of pulp is 2%, right? But in both the cases the quantity of pulp will remain same. That means 2% is actually equal to 0.01 of A. Initially this was the quantity of pulp. Now it is 2% of the entire this remaining sample. So 2% is actually 0.01A, that means 100% we have to find out. So that's actually 0.01A into 100 by 2. So that's A by 2, right? Very interesting one. I hope you are clear. Now this question from allegations and mixtures. Two lumps composed of gold, silver and copper together weigh 20 kilogram. One lump contains 75% gold and 31.25 gram per kilogram silver. The other contains 85% gold and 30 gram per kilogram silver. The total quantity of silver in two lumps is this. If the two lumps are melted and formed into one, what percent of gold will it contain? Now friends, there is no paperwork, nothing is required to solve this question. In the first lump, 75% gold is there, and in the other one, 85% gold is there. So if you uh, form this, if you melt these two lumps and form into one, obviously the gold will be between 75 to 85, and may not be exactly in between because that depends upon the quantity of individual, but yes, definitely between 75 to 85. So we just have one option, 78%, and there is none of these, so you don't have to go for actual solution of this problem, right? 78% will be your answer. I hope you are getting me. Now let's see this one. In a certain vessel, water to wine ratio is 2:1, and another vessel, water to wine ratio is 7:1. They are mixed in a ratio 9:16 to form 100 liters of new mixture. Now from the mixture, 20 liters are taken out and 10 liters of wine added to it. Okay, first of all, what we do in the final this mixture, we find out the ratio of water to wine. Now from the first container, 9 part is being taken. In all, this 9:16 is 100 liters, and 9:16, the total is 25. That means 36 liters has been taken from this container, and 16 into 4, 64 from this container, right? So this is total is 3. So if 3 is 36, 1 is 12. That means 2 is 24. So this is actually water, wine. So 24 and this 12. So from 36 liters from the first container, 24 liters is wine, water, and 12 liters is wine. Now this is actually 8, and exactly it is 64 because the 16 is 64, right? So 8 is 64, that means 1 is 8. So 7 into 8, 56 liter is water and 8 liters is wine, right? So in the resultant 100 liters of mixture, 20 liters is wine and 80 liters is water. So the water to wine ratio is 4:1. Okay. Now what? From this mixture, 20 liters are taken out and 10 liters of wine added to it. See, if you take out 20 liters, the remaining mixture will also be in the same ratio, 4:1. That means water will, 4 part of water will go in this 20 liter and 1 part of wine will go in this 20 liter. right? That means 16 part of water will go and 4 part of wine will go. So after this withdrawal, 16 liter water is going, that means 50 liter, 56 water is there, and 4 wine is there. I'm sorry, 4 liter, 16 liter wine is there. Okay, 20 this is going, and 16, I'm sorry, so this is 64 and this is 16, right? 16 liter water is being removed and 4 liter wine is being removed. Now 10 liters of wine is being added, so it is 64 and 26, water and wine. Now this is, the total is now 90 liter. Now 9 liters of mixture is taken out. That means this total is 90, that means 1/10 from both of them is taken out. 64 minus 6.4, so that is 57.6, and this is 23.4. So this is the final quantity that is left. Now in this we have to find out what is the percentage of wine. So the total quantity is what? 81, and since we are putting 5 liters of wine, so 81 plus 5, 86, and from this 86, this 23.4 plus 5, so that's 28.4 we have to find out, right? Now this will be something around 28 threes are 33% around. Okay, yes, 28 into 3 is 84, so it's more than that, so it's around 1/3, so that's 33%, right? Now we can get the idea over here also. See from 64 26, the total quantity is 90, from 90 it is 26, right? This percentage of wine, so that's around 28-29%. Now 9 liter of mixture is being removed and 5 liter of wine is added. So there will be definitely an increase in the amount of wine, bit increase. So that's around 33%, right? Because 25% is lower and 40 and 45 are very, very high, right? So 33% will be the correct choice. Either you go for the next step or you can conclude the problem over here also. Okay. Now let's see this problem based on time, speed and distance. Here, the distance between Mumbai and Chennai is this. Mumbai-Chennai Express leaves Mumbai at 6 p.m. towards Chennai. On the same day, Chennai-Mumbai Express leaves Chennai for Mumbai at 9 p.m. Okay, and speed is more by 15 km per hour than speed of Mumbai-Chennai Express. Both trains meet at Wadi Junction, which is exactly at the center between Mumbai and Chennai. At what time do both the trains meet? Now for these sort of problems, there is hardly any paperwork required, right? And what you can do, the best thing is just go by option, right? Just pick up the option and just proceed accordingly, right? If whether it is wrong or right, you'll be getting an idea. Suppose 6 a.m. is the correct answer, right? Now what is happening? Since they are meeting at the midpoint, that means the first train and the second train, both of them might have covered a 540 kilometers, right? And from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., 12 hours it is taking to cover a 540 kilometer. That means speed is 45 kilometer per hour. Now let's see. The other train is taking 3 hours less because it is starting at 9 p.m. right? So 540 it is covering in 9 hours. So its speed is 60 kilometer per hour. Now difference between them is 15. That's there, right? So that is matching. That means this answer is correct, right? If it is not 15, then you have to proceed with the next option. If it is more than 15 and less than 15, according to that you have to proceed. Okay, so that's pretty simple problem. If you go by paperwork and if you are making any sort of equation, that will be really time consuming. Rather than you can go proceed by option if first is not correct, second, third, if at all of them you are try, it won't take more than a minute. Okay, I hope you are getting me. Now friends, let's see this problem. The distance between Talegaon and Lonavala is 17.5 km. Lakoba starts from Lonavala on a cycle at a uniform speed towards Talegaon. After 15 minutes, Anand Rao in his Maruti car starts from the place towards Talegaon and overtakes Lakhoba after 10 minutes and without halting reaches Talegaon. Knowing that he forgot his important documents at home, Anand Rao immediately turns back and starts towards Lonavala at the same speed again. Meets Lakhoba still on his cycle exactly after 45 minutes from the start of Lakhoba's journey from Lonavala. We have to find out the speed of the Maruti car and cycle. See, I assume maybe this Lakhoba is starting at 9 a.m., right? So Lakhoba is starting at 9 a.m. After that, this guy Anand Rao is starting at 9:15, and after 10 minutes, that meant as 9:25, both of them are meeting, right? That means the distance that this guy Lakhoba is covering in 25 minutes, the same distance is being covered by Anand Rao in 10 minutes, right? 25 minutes, 10 minutes. That means their timing ratio is 25 is to 10, or I can say 5 is to 2, right? That means the speed ratio must be 2 is to 5. Lakhoba is to this Anand Rao, right? So this is Lakhoba is to Anand Rao, and we have to find out Anand Rao is to Lakhoba, so that the speed ratio will be 5 is to 2. So this way, this option is cancelled, this option is cancelled. Okay. Now friends, instead of making any sort of equation, we proceed with the remaining two options. Now this seems to be simple, right, to calculate. Now what is happening over here? This is the initial point and this is the final point, right? Suppose this guy is having the speed of 10 km per hour, that's Lakhoba, and he is taking 45 minutes. See, that means after 45 minutes, these two guys are meeting once again, right? Suppose over here. So with the speed of 10 km per hour, he might have covered up 7.5 km, right? And the other guy in the Maruti car, that he might have covered up this complete distance plus this distance. So this complete distance is 17.5 and this distance must be 10, isn't it? Because this distance is 7.5. So this distance is 17.5 and this distance is 10. So the total distance he has covered up is 27.5 with the speed of 25 km, right? But this guy in Maruti car has started after 15 minutes. That means this distance 27.5 km he should be covering in 30 minutes, but 27.5 if we divide by 25 it is not 30 minutes, right? So this answer is wrong. No need to calculate because this is the final option that is available with us. So this should be definitely correct. Okay. So without making any sort of equation, you can easily solve these sort of problems. I hope you are clear. Now let's see this question. Rajesh and Suresh can finish the garden cleaning in P days. They worked together for Q days. Then Rajesh fell sick and remaining cleaning was completed by Suresh in R days. In how many days could each of them clean the garden? See, it's a simple question if you assume some value for these variables, right? Suppose I assume Rajesh and Suresh could finish the garden in cleaning in say 8 days, right? They worked together for say 6 days. Then Rajesh fell sick and remaining cleaning was completed by Suresh in suppose 3 days. See, why I'm taking these sort of data is because 8, 6 and 3 we have the simple LCM, that is 24. So that will be easy for us to handle. Now in how many days could each of them clean the garden? Now the problem becomes very simple. Rajesh and Suresh could finish the garden cleaning in 8 days and they worked together for 6 days. So in 6 days, 6 by 8, that means 3/4 of the work is finished, right? 6 by 8, 3/4 of the work is finished. That means remaining work is 1/4. Now the 1/4 work is done by Suresh in 3 days, right? 1/4 work is done by Suresh in 3 days. That means entire work will be done by Suresh alone in 12 days. So this is the capacity of Suresh, okay? Now similarly we can calculate the capacity of Rajesh also. Rajesh and Suresh if they are working together, they can finish the work in 8 days, right? Now Suresh alone takes 12 days. That means if Suresh is doing work for 8 days, he'll be able to do 8 by 12. That means 3 by 4th of the work, right? So the remaining 1/4 of the work is being done by Rajesh. Then only they'll be able to complete the work in 8 days. So 1/4 of the work Rajesh can do in 8 days. That means the entire work he can do in 32 days. So that is the capacity of Rajesh. Now it's very simple. Just put up the value of PQR under options and just get the correct answer. Okay. So let's check for Suresh. PR, that means P into R, that is 24 by P minus Q. So 24 by 8 minus 6, that is 2. So 24 by 2, that's 12. So Suresh 12, that's correct, right? We have PR by P minus Q over here and over here. But Q minus P will produce a negative because Q is smaller than P. So obviously option A is correct, because in other options we don't have PR in the numerator, right? So no need to go further. Option A will be definitely correct. No need to go for Rajesh. That means you don't have to find the number of days by Rajesh. Okay. I hope you are getting me. Now, sine theta and cos theta are roots of an equation this. So we have to find out the relationship among A, B and C. Right? Now sine theta and cos theta, that means sine theta plus cos theta is actually minus B by A, and sine theta cos theta is actually C by A. Right? So if I take sine theta plus cos theta whole square, it will be sine square theta plus cos square theta. Sine square theta plus cos square theta will be 1 plus 2 sine theta cos theta. So 2 sine theta cos theta is 2c by a, and sine theta plus cos theta whole square will be b square by a square, right? So just simply do it. 2ac plus a square is equal to b square. So that's pretty simple. Okay, b square, or we can say a square minus b square plus 2ac is 0. Okay. Now here, the distance between Mumbai Central and Surat is 300 km. Two trains simultaneously leave from Mumbai Central and Surat. After they meet, suppose here, the train travelling towards Surat reaches there after 9 hours, while train travelling towards Mumbai Central reaches there after 4 hours. Find the speed of each train in kilometer per hour. So no need to make any sort of equations once again. You just go through the option. That's pretty simple, right? Now suppose always try to choose the simple options. Okay. Now what is happening over here? I found this, and this is simple, right? Now if the speed of these trains are 20 km per hour and 30 km per hour, and they are approaching towards each other, that means the relative speed is 50. Now here we are getting 50, here it is 65. So it's a bit tedious, right? To just choose this or this, right? Suppose I take this. So 50 km is the relative speed. That means to cover up the 300 km, they'll be taking 6 hours. So after 6 hours, they are going to meet, right? So, and after that, the train with the speed of 20 km per hour, if it has to cover this 300 km, it will take 15 hours, right? After 6 hours they are meeting, and the total time is 15 hours. That means after meeting it is taking 9 hours, and we want that only. Okay, you can even cross verify for 30. 300 km it has to run, so 30 at the rate of 30 it will take 10 hours. So after 6 hours it will be taking 4 hours to reach this destination. Okay, I have written it at wrong place. That doesn't matter. Maybe Mumbai here, Surat here, or Surat here, Mumbai here. The final thing is 20 and 30 are the correct options. So no need to calculate further. Okay. Since the sum was pretty simple, 300 by 50, that's easy to calculate. 300 by 25, that's easy to calculate. So always choose this sort of options. If you are not clear for the very first time, then go for another options. Okay. Now let's see this problem based on logarithm. to be able to solve this sort of problems, you must be clear with the basic properties of logarithm. Here the base is 9, here the base is 3. So before we take antilog of both the side, we need to convert the base of this side to be 9. So what we'll do, it's log 9 2x square plus 3x minus 1 is equal to log 9 x minus 3 whole square, right? Now both the sign bases are same, so now we can take antilog. So that's 2x square plus 3x minus 1 is equal to x square minus 6x plus 9. That means x square plus 9x minus 10 is equal to 0. X plus 10, x minus 1 is 0. So x is 1 or minus 10, right? So when we solve this quadratic equation, we are getting two solutions, that is 1 or minus 10, right? But both of them may or may not be true, because the basic property of logarithm is that is logarithm is not at all defined for the negative numbers, right? So if you put x is equal to minus 10 over here, we'll be getting this side as negative, right? So for that, logarithm is not at all defined. So minus 10 is discarded. Now check for 1. Here, if you put x is equal to 1, still logarithm is negative, right? So once again, a logarithm of a negative term is not at all defined, right? So you will not be getting any real solution for this given equation. Okay, so that's 0. So I hope you are clear. Now we have this problem based on geometry. Cyclic quadrilateral ABCD has lengths this. Lengths of diagonal are this. Find the area of the quadrilateral. I draw the quadrilateral over here. This is A, B, C, D. AB is 5 root 2. This is 6. This is 8. This we don't know. This is 7 root 2 and this is 10. Okay. Now we can see this is triangle DBC 6, 8 and 10, right? Now 6, 8 and 10, these are Pythagorean triplet. That means this angle must be 90 degree with this angle should be 90 degree, right? That means this must be a straight line. Now since it is a cyclic quadrilateral, if this is 90 degree, it has to be 90 degree because sum of opposite angles of a cyclic quadrilateral is 180 degree. So this is also 90 degree, right? Now we have this triangle ABD. This length is 10, this length is 5 root 2 and this length, this is 90 degree. That means this length must be 5 root 2, right? Now the cyclic quadrilateral is combination of these two triangles ADB and BDC. What will be the area of ABD? That is half of 50, that's 25. And what will be the area of BDC? That is half of 48, that's 24. So in all the total area is 49 centimeters squared. As simple as that. Okay. Now let's see a problem based on coordinate geometry. Here equation of curve in xy plane is given as this and we have to find the equation of the tangent to the curve at x is equal to 1. Now I just draw a diagram for you. This may be the curve and this is maybe the tangent. Okay. Now we are asked to find out the equation of the tangent at x is equal to 1. That means this point where this tangent is touching this curve is x is equal to 1 and coordinates of this is 1 and say y, right? Now this 1 and y, they will be there on this tangent and they will be there on this curve also, right? So what I do, I try to find out the y coordinate on this curve when x is equal to 1. So when x is equal to 1, y will be 1 minus 2 plus 6 minus 4. So y is equal to 1. That means this point is actually 1, 1. Right? Now we have to find out an equation from the options whose coordinates, which equation is satisfying 1 and 1. When x is equal to 1, y is equal to 1. So this is not satisfied over here. If x is equal to 1 and y is equal to 1, we are getting 0. So this can be a correct option. Here not, even here not. Right? So this is the correct option. So you see that there is no paperwork required at all. Just a bit sense is required, but common sense is required that if this coordinate x is equal to 1 and y, that means 1 and y, they are on the tangent, the same coordinates will be there on the curve. So from the equation of the curve, we find out the coordinates of this point, and they should satisfy the equation of tangent as well. Okay, so that's pretty simple problem. I hope you are clear. And in the next session, we'll be taking more problems based on quantitative aptitude. Do revise this session and get ready for the next one. Bye bye.